Um, Hello once again. Um, to another episode of the Father Support Network. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Wampa. Today, as I promised, I'm gonna do a follow up to uh, the first episode we did in the year, which is why good fathers suffer the most. So today, as I promised, I'll be doing how good fathers can win. I'm nearly tempted to do another episode related to that, but maybe we'll do that another time. But before I get into this, as usual, I'd like to invite you to, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like, share, and let's get this across to as many uh, that we need to hear this message. So let's jump right into it. How can good fathers win? So I got a few points that I want to share today. Um, Number one would be know your parental rights. Um, a lot of fathers, you'd be so surprised, do not know what right they possess. I hear so many stories about good fathers being denied access to their kids once relationship is broken up, and fathers are alienated from their kids. Um, and even some fathers don't even believe, it's the woman, they don't see their kids for years. And as always, the child suffers. Shouldn't be. And I've always maintained that if the court system can, or if the system can enforce child support, they should be able to enforce it and make it mandatory for father to be able to see child. But that's not the point. Sometimes the fathers are unfortunately frustrated by their exes who uh, do all kinds of go to all kinds of extreme to either deny, some even psychologically, you know, drive a wedge between uh, the father and the children. That is the that is the more extreme. But you see where fathers are literally, put different stumbling blocks that some fathers just give up. But now, know your parental rights. What is a parental right? It takes two to make a child, a man and a woman. And so it should take both have equal rights. You have about 50% DNA in that child. In some instances, depending on the relationship, whether you are married or if you're married automatically, maybe in the birth certificate. I even in situations where you're not married in most Western places, you still have a right. And some women, I've seen situations where they say, "Oh, I wish your name wasn't on the birth certificate, so you won't have it right now." Even after that, you have a right to apply to the courts and have uh, your parental responsibility enforced or established. So knowing your right when it comes to that, you should have equal amount of access to your child, equal amount of control, of influence over your child is also very, very important. So it's a myth to believe that the woman, though the society perpetuates that a woman has, or the mothers have, nearly 100% right to the child, because in most cases when once the relationship breaks down, the child is usually with the mom, so the mom usually things that translate into having all of the rights, all of the authority to be able to decide where the child goes to school, the child's health and everything, and also to determine when or if the child will have a relationship with the father. So knowing your right, that ultimately in the court of law, regardless of what the society says, regardless of the however we perceive the system, the interest of the child, the best interest of the child is what the court looks out for. And every child, the court will say, in principle, should have equal access. It is in the best interest of the child that he has equal access to the father and the mother. So knowing that is very, very important. And knowing that means you that will tie well into the second point. You need to seek legal redress in some instances where it's very difficult. Seek legal, you can act within. How good fathers are within the limits of the law. So there's a law. We don't live in a lawless society. Just because you have a right to a father, just because you've been denied, you can't, drive to your ex's house, break down the house. You can't snatch the children away from on the street. You can't snatch the children away from the school. You can't just take them on travel. Because we've had cases where exes have been accused of kidnapping. You'd be so shocked. You think, oh, this is my seed. This is my child. I can't. You could amount to kidnapping. I've heard a story where this case was the opposite. The father had custody and the mom had gone. And they live in a different country. She's traveled and then, um, you know, traveled with the kids against, without the man's consent, the ex's consent to another country. And rightly so, the kids were asked to be returned, and it was seen as a case of abduction. So you need to always keep emotions that are within the limits. Know what your limits are. Like I said, unless you yourself present a danger to your child, it could be through other means. Whether some parents are like maybe your lifestyle, the way you're living, maybe drugs, maybe there could also be mental health issues. Unless in some of the even as a dad, you know, there's there are ways where you can continue to maintain your to maintain contact. So knowing those the law and acting within that limit will help good fathers. So you can't just act irrationally. You can't just break down the door, go into any kind of like act stupidly and act in a way that's going to one make you look bad, because when you act like that, then it definitely will put you in a position where your actions then will be considered to see if you're fit to even be in the child's life. If that's we present any benefit to the child. So you need to act within the limits of the law. So let's say, for instance, you were to pick up your child on a weekend, it's planned, and then you go, and then your ex comes up with an excuse. Oh well, you know, it's frustrating. You've made all of these plans, you've driven all of this way. You're more tempted to like knock on the door, break on the door. No, you need to take your time and go. And I'll tell an experience that I had of someone I know that come back on a weekend, and the ex had lied to the authorities and had come with a social worker on a Friday when this person had gone to work, and they've taken the kids and then put them in a safe place. And he's come back, thinking some bad thing has happened. She's called the police. It took over 10 minutes before he could establish that, they've left the house. So, but you have to be patient, because that is, you can imagine what emotional pain, trauma you're going through to come back and to that kind of situation. But the days drag, the nights drag. But you have to wait and wait until to Monday. Go to the school on the Monday to pick. And you can't pick your child in the school because the woman has made some allegations that turn out to be false. They have to go through the system, go to the social work, and then apply to court. And in this particular instance, I'm telling you, the person had to go exhaust all these other means, spoke with the school, spoke with the social services, and then went straight to the court. When you feel like it's imminent, you're so surprised that some of the things that describe people think is a daunting process. In that situation, that person got instant access to the court on the same day he's going to court, was able to come before a judge, and there was the whatever session was expedited, and this was quickly attended to. So you should know your rights, knowing those rights, and then again, that also ties well into being controlling your emotions. You can win by separate. Again, fathers need to let you separate. You can only win by logic, not by emotions. You can't let your emotions guide you. If you let your emotions guide you, there are times where you could be kids, and you know women are they you can't win a woman in an emotion and stuff, and you come and you want to, so I've seen a video of a father that had the child for a weekend, and I returned the child to the mom and taking the child for a haircut. I think it happened in America, and the mom was like, "Why did you cut the hair without my permission?" And the woman had asked the boy to stay behind the car, right? Create all the scenario for you to overreact. So you cannot overreact. You can't afford to overreact. You need to always stay in control of your emotions. And in those situations, if you can, you need to call the authorities. You need to have recordings in those situations. Because I've been in situations where, during exchange, I've been in a situation where during the I have a case where the ex was poking the man's chest and just pushing the man. You could be overreact and maybe lay hands on them, and that story will change because there's no evidence. And where it's maybe important to have exchange in a public place where maybe there's CCTV or there are cameras, there are footage where there are evidence that you can use to verify this. So you need to control emotion. And then again, I think lastly, you need to be persistent and consistent because it's easy. It might be, I don't want to make this to sound simple. I've been in that situation. It could take years. I've been in a situation where I've been going in and out of the family court for 5 years. I've been in a situation where you go to the court today, the judge says, make the child available the next day. And the very next day, the mother doesn't make available because the woman knows, oh, you then have to apply. It will take another 6, 7, 8 weeks. That is frustrating. Most men just give up. But no, you have to be persistent. You have to fight for what is right for your kids, for the future. I was sadly listening to Gary Owens, the American comedian, talking about who is estranged from the kids. They're talking about how what was I gonna say now? Um, okay, I lost my train of thought in that. But I'm just looking at the situation with his how he's been estranged from his children and how I remember what I was gonna say. How he said that he found his children to be his greatest achievement and his greatest failure as well. Because no matter what you achieve in this life as a man, if you prioritize your career, if you prioritize your own happiness over your children, when you get to a stage, you come to realize that our greatest achievement is the family. The families are the core of our achievement. So no matter what, money can replace that. You get old, you have your kids around you, you see them, you have a relationship with them. That is a blessing. That is what matters. So spending time with your kids, the memories you create, and the bond you create, the strong bond, you need to have your imprint in your kids' life. You need to be persistent. No matter what, you need to show up for them. Show up for them. Go to the parents' evening. Show up for them on their birthday. Show up for them. Take them out to the park. Be there in their medical. I've seen a place, I've seen a place where a situation I know where the mom wasn't updating the father about the child's medical record, and then you pick up the child for the weekend. You don't know the child was sick the day before. Anything could happen. This is, and this father had gone to the GP where the child was registered and wanted access, direct access, and some of the receptionists didn't until he went and said, "I want to see the manager here," and threatened to take it further. But then that is his right. I think they made that available to him. He has a right to access. So this is also about knowing your rights, knowing your parents, and know your rights. But this is why we're here. We're gonna guide you, but ultimately, one, you need to know your parental rights. Two, you need to control your emotions. Three, you need to be persistent and consistent in your care. And four, you need to know the law and act within that law. Okay, I'll leave it at that. And I'll say it's been a pleasure again to talk to you, and um, I wish we can have a healthy society where uh, we'll understand the role, the important role of fathers in the life of children. For now, stay blessed, and I'll see you again. Bye.